Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, managing partner with Levinson and Associates. And with us today, we have a special guest speaker who we are delighted to have join us on today's presentation. His name is Chris Solomon, and he's actually from Protective Life. He's a VP at Protective, very, very knowledgeable, okay, with different sales ideas, unique concepts, different ways to get your foot in the door to share your story, which obviously is the name of the game in our business. So we have some great new technology that we're going to share with you that's going to help get your story across. We also have some great new ideas using the internet, social media, websites, different ways you can blog and make videos. Basically, the whole point of today's presentation is we're going to fill your head with different ideas, scenarios, storylines, technology, so you can walk away from this webinar and get your name out there starting this afternoon. That is the point of today's call. So take out a pen and paper, jot down any notes, questions that you might have if you want us to dive into something a little further after the call, or even call next week anytime. We would be more than happy to get into whatever scenario that you would like to discuss. So, you know, every agent, GA, MGA, even IMOs out there, everyone always wants to know, you know, what's working, what's not, how do we get our foot in the door, how do we make the phone ring. So today's presentation is strictly about that idea. Me, Joe, Chris, we all sat down, we spoke about this webinar. It's been a few days now, and we put all of our thoughts together, and we feel that everyone is going to walk away with a little something after today's call. We also have Joseph Lochrenan, our Marketing Vice President. He's joining us as well. First off, and I don't want to waste too much time, we're going to run for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll introduce Chris, because he's got a hell of a presentation and some great new stuff to talk about that I think everyone will be excited over. So first off, first slide here, we have a brand new, okay, and this is awesome. We've been working on this for almost a year now. We have the Levinson exclusive E&O policy for our agents only, okay? This is huge, and the reason why is because no one else can get access to this policy unless you're a Levinson agent. So what does that mean to you? First off, you'll have the least expensive E&O policy available. Second off, if you're a recruiter, you're a GA, or maybe even have a couple agents under you, you can use this as another feather in your cap to show why these agents need to work with you over the competition, because they can't get this product elsewhere, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's $395 a year for $1 million of coverage, okay? That is the least expensive E&O policy, period. The best part, this policy covers B+ rated or better carriers, okay? That's the first. 99% of errors and omissions policies only cover A- or better insurance companies. This covers B+ and better. So especially on the annuity side, or if you're working in that final expense arena, we know there's a lot of carriers out there that are B+, so you can now be covered if you're selling one of their products. So great news there. Again, we launched this last week. This is underwritten by AIG, and Aon is the third-party administrator, only available through Levinson. We have an online link. You literally press a button, print your certificate, you are done. Okay, let's move forward. Joe's going to talk about our upcoming training webinars, and then we're actually featured in 2 new magazines, October and November. We'll touch on briefly. Joe?
Thanks, Bill. As usual, just want to cover some upcoming webinars we're having for next week. Of course, you can actually visit the YouTube channel that we host. We've got about over 110 different videos you can watch on demand. Just go to kerrylevinson.com to register for any one of these upcoming sessions, or you can go to YouTube and check out that Levinson channel at any time. So for next week, Tuesday, at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going over the Fidelity Life product overview, which is a great term product that actually be issued in about 24 hours. So we're going to talk about the e-app process and really who that product fits for. And then the following day, which is November 4th at 11 a.m. Eastern, we're having a webinar that's going to be co-hosted by North American. We're talking about generating 3 life sales with one consumer, talking about purchasing a term policy, then converting it to a universal life policy, and then they actually have an option where you can exchange that UL for an indexed UL down the road. So a great way to kind of make 3 sales out of one. We cover from A to Z how that sales transition starts and how it finishes. Again, that's at 11 a.m. Eastern next Wednesday. And then Thursday, which is the 5th at 2 p.m. Eastern, we're covering some disability income training sales concepts. We're actually going to be co-hosting with Illinois Mutual, talking about the e-applications and really how to develop those DI sales. At the bottom, you'll notice, you actually see the 2016 Levinson Expo, which is April 8th, 2016. This is going to be our 9th year of hosting the annual expo. This is basically a day full of sales concepts, sales ideas. You can see from the picture there, it is smack on the beach in beautiful sunny South Florida. It goes from about 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. We provide breakfast, we provide lunch, prizes, and cash giveaways throughout the day. The neatest part about this contest is not only do you learn sales concepts and ideas, you also get to meet some of the top marketing experts in our industry, even some great underwriters from some different home offices. What's also neat is we put together an incentive package. So for those agents that are not local to South Florida, we actually have different levels of qualification where you can not only earn a free night stay at the beachfront resort, but you can also get round-trip airfare from anywhere in the U.S. So qualification starts at just $15,000 of premium. The neat thing is all products qualify. So whether you're writing just life or maybe a mix of annuity products, disability, long-term care, critical illness, every single one of those products qualifies. So you can register right on the homepage. Again, KerryLevinson.com. That is definitely a day that you do not want to miss.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So as you've probably seen or heard about by now, we are on the cover of Insurance Newsnet magazine, the October edition. And basically, the reason for the article is the editor wanted us to dive into our Sell While You Sleep platform and all of these products that are simply client-driven electronic applications. So we talk about all of the Sell While You Sleep products. We talk about the free agent websites and the different pieces that integrate your social media, the lead capture quote engines, basically everything that is built around the Sell While You Sleep platform. So this is a huge plus for us in 2015. And then just out, actually still a couple days away, the November issue of Insurance Newsnet magazine has a tech guide that they only come out with once a year, and they feature the top 3 or 4 IMOs that are literally changing the industry by utilizing the best technology out there. So we were featured in the 2015 tech guide in Insurance Newsnet that you'll see coming out in just another day or two. And the reason why we were featured is we're the first IMO ever, okay, in this industry to come out with, it's called the Levinson Agency Automator, okay? And just think of this as like a CRM tool on steroids, if you will, okay? It's going to keep track of all of your clients and policies, but it also is going to, just think of like a wizard, that if a client goes on your website or goes on your social media page, or if they, let's say they run a quote but they don't fill out the e-application, this wizard is going to send that client a bunch of emails, okay, that is going to, the first one might say, hey, you were just on my website. You ran a 20-year term quote for $100,000, but you didn't proceed with the application. By the way, if you have any health issues, we offer these guaranteed issue plans and these quotes, okay? And then if there's still no response, maybe a week later, there's another email that goes out that says, hey, you were on my website a week ago and you never followed through with the e-application. Basically, it's a complete turnkey campaign that tracks all of your clients and prospects that are visiting your website, running quotes that maybe you've sold policies to. Basically, any point of contact. This is going to keep everything under one roof. It's like a an autopilot assistant, if you will, that you literally flip a switch and it does everything for you. Okay, there's other industries that are using platforms like this as we speak. Okay, and a huge industry is the auto world. Okay, if you ever went to buy a new car or service your car at a dealership, you probably know that you're going to receive phone calls, different emails, different mailers that come, snail mail, that talk about maybe discounts of the week for oil changes, tire rotation, new test drive deals that are coming out. Basically, you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to operate like one of these huge multi-billion-dollar companies, even though you're a one-man show working out of your third bedroom. So this is called the Levinson Agency Automator, and it's rolling out in November, and we are extremely proud of this. This is just a sneak peek, but we're going to have a bunch of videos, and we'll do a webinar on this, so everybody will get a chance to sample this and check it out for themselves. So awesome, awesome news here. Okay, so moving forward, Joe's going to show you a quick, easy way to make sure that you pop up in search engines. Then we have a few more slides, and Chris will take it from there. Joe?
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, we're going to dive into a couple neat tips and tricks here to kind of help everybody. This is probably one of the easiest things you can ever do. It's going to take about 5 minutes, but as you'll see, it's about the best 5 minutes you could spend to help promote your business. And that's getting your business, whether it's an agency or as an individual agent, listed on Google for absolutely zero cost. So what you can do is we're actually going to email out the link to everyone after today's webinar, but you basically click on the link, you enter in all your contact information, your website, your Facebook account, a little bit about what you do, and I've got a sample on the bottom of the page here where you can see this agent went through that process, put all his information in there, and you'll see with some of the free resources, the free agent website that we offer, you can allow clients to run quotes, compare coverage, even apply and get approved instantly. So this will help your customers find you. Again, it takes about, I would say, on average 3 to 4 minutes to complete, but one of the easiest and best things you can do to make sure that you're going to actually be listed on Google, which, as we know, is kind of taken over from the traditional yellow pages. So you can make sure that you have that online listing ready and available for when clients actually go to find you as an agent.
Okay, also, these days, everybody has a website, so there's simply no excuses. You're an independent agent out there. If you're in the middle of Wisconsin, or if you're in busy California or New York City, you need to have a website. So with our site, which is INS Professional, that stands for Insurance Professional, you can go in there and register for your own free website that has all of the bells and whistles, all of the lead capture systems, the videos. Everything is branded 100% to you, and it's 100% free. So there's no excuse for not having your own website now. We even made them mobile accessible, so your clients can pull you up from their smartphones, iPhones, tablets. So there is no more excuse. Make sure you register for your own free site today. If you already have your site up and running, you can use some of our tools to integrate into your own site. So very important. As we know, technology is changing at a very fast rate. We are here to help you stay one step ahead of your competition. Always remember that. Okay, we put together a e-marketing paper resource that we simply, again, sat down, put all of our thoughts together to help you drive traffic to your website, to your different product links that are sold online. Joe's going to give you a quick highlight of our e-marketing white paper that's free to all Levinson agents. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So obviously, going through the agent website, creating that is a very simple and easy process that we've developed. But one of the biggest questions that we get after the website is created, well, great, I have this awesome website, I've got my Google Places. Now what do I do? How am I going to actually drive traffic to that website and get my name in front of people that I otherwise would really have no contact with? So we created that e-marketing white paper resource to actually show you how to use different things, how to use social media to do a little networking, how to even use SEO, which is search engine optimization, platforms, how to use pay-per-click marketing, even some social media advertising. We also dive into some email marketing campaigns. As we'll see when Bill dives into the agency automator, we actually have built all these different pre-templated emails so that you can actually send those out to your clients, drip market on them, and actually target market to specifically what they're looking for. We also talk about how to develop a YouTube channel. You know, you don't really need to have some crazy equipment to do that. You can literally use your smartphone, record a quick video, talk about a topic or something that you find interesting and that you think is important, and then get that word out there. And that's going to really help boost that traffic and drive a lot of people to your website, and that goes hand in hand with having, you know, that CRM or that marketing strategy that Bill touched on earlier.
Okay, thanks, Joe. So one little tidbit I'll give you, and I saw this just last week. I saw on Good Morning America they were talking about Walmart and going into the holiday season here and how they are down by 30%. Okay, that is huge. So right away you say to yourself, well, who's their biggest competition? You know, is it Target? Is it Kmart? Is it the Costco's and BJ's of the world? Actually, it's none of them. Okay, and I just read this article. Their biggest competitor is Amazon, okay, and that's what they're worried about going into the holiday season this year. They are down by 30% because of one big player in this world, and it's Amazon, okay? So it's probably going to get worse, unfortunately, but the point is Amazon, as we all know, is an online shopping cart approach, okay? So I'm not saying that today in our industry you have to be the Amazon of the world to be successful, because we're not there yet. But what I am saying is it's important that you have a website and have some of these basic, you know, smaller term products, final expense, supplemental products like cancer and critical illness. You can have these products on a shopping cart approach setup, okay, where clients can just go on, click, and buy without talking to an agent, and you, of course, get full credit. So if you look at the Walmarts and the Amazons, let's look at history. Look what's going on now with technology. So we all need to be a step ahead, and it's happening as we speak, okay? So we're here to help you with that. Once again, having a CRM tool or marketing strategy is so important. And I saw on Grant Cardone's website this morning, he used the same exact chart that we're talking about today. 48% of salespeople never follow up, and only 2% of those sales are made on the first call. 80% of all sales are made on the 5th to 12th follow-up call. That's why it's so important to have some kind of follow-up system, okay? Triggered emails, a basic CRM tool, very important. We're going to have these new dynamic email campaigns with our new agency automator system. The point is, we don't have time to call every single prospect and client 5 to 12 times to make the sale, so we're going to let the technology do all the work for us. That's kind of the whole point behind this. And as soon as you get a client that is hot and they're ready to go, then you pick up the phone and spend the 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it takes to make the sale. So anyway, we're here to help you with that, but very important, you need to have a good follow-up system. Okay, selling more to existing clients. We're just about done here. We have a couple more minutes, and then Chris will take it. But just a few more ideas that we wanted to bring up. Now, if you've been in the business a while, okay, you have a nice big book of existing clients, maybe referrals or prospects, name, number, whatever the case is. But if you have a nice book of business, it's important that you go back and try to generate business from that book. They already know your name. They trusted you. They like you, or they liked you at one time or another. So that's going to be the easiest place to tap back into. So you need a great story to tell, okay, to go revisit these clients. And I love this idea, okay. Now what you need to do, and we can send this out in after today's call, with our scholarship program, all of those carriers, there's 10 carriers now with almost 100 different products. If you sold any of those products in the past, you can go back to those clients and say, hey, because you bought this 20-year term ROP product from me with Mutual of Omaha, I can give you 1 free year scholarship, okay? It's literally, if you come meet me or we set up a call, basically just have an appointment. They don't have to buy anything else, okay? They get the 1 year scholarship at no charge, okay? And all that means is they bought a qualifying product at one time or another, and that product, okay, is eligible with our scholarship program. So that's huge. No one is going to say no to that, especially if they have children, okay? So that's a very easy way to get your foot back in the door. Another great idea, sell the new type of life insurance, okay? Now, we all know the old kind of term, 10-year, 15, 20-year term, it's like renting a house. The client has to die in order for the policy to be triggered. The new life insurance is, say, a 20-year term, but with living benefits. That pays while the client is still alive if they have a critical illness, cancer, heart attack, stroke, disability. So we now have these new term products with living benefit riders. That's a great way to get your foot back in the door. We also have various programs, okay? A few examples without getting into too much detail. We have a program that if your client bought a term policy from you, we can go back right up to $1 million so they can get a new policy if they need more insurance, okay, with very little or no underwriting, okay? Very important. Now we have some great underwriting niches. A quick example, we have companies that give you non-tobacco rates if you smoke cigars, okay? That's a big one. Another huge one, we have a company that will give you preferred non-tobacco if your client admits to smoking 1 to 2 cigarettes a month. They'll give you preferred non-tobacco. Imagine all the clients you can go back that got standard or preferred tobacco rates. You can now give non-tobacco rates and cut their premium in half or more. Okay, that is huge. We have a quit smoking incentive program to where if your client smokes a pack a day, you can give them non-tobacco rates. Okay, as long as they promise to quit in 3 years, and of course they have to prove that they quit in 3 years. But meanwhile, you got a new sale and you save them 50% of premium. Great ways to get your foot back in the door. Okay, we have a few more slides here. We're almost done, I promise. Joe's going to talk about customer rewards. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So a great way, again, to kind of go back to customers. Typically in our industry, it's very tough to give client rewards because, of course, we have regulators and insurance departments to make sure we're doing everything the way it should be done. But a great way you can reward the client, again, without any purchase necessary, is by using that scholarship platform. I'm showing here a couple different things you can do. We've got professor one-on-one trainings, direct mail marketing pieces. Even just giving that client a free scholarship tuition can go a long way. Reward those clients for even just talking to you, even just explaining how our scholarship platform works is going to allow you to give that client those different reward points. Moving on to the next slide here, talking about creating influence and really increasing your network. A great way to do this is, example, use anything we spoke about, whether it's a scholarship platform or any one of the neat products or underwriting niches. Connect with people that are considered influencers on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Recommend a product or an underwriting niche or something that's going to actually gain attention. And what you'll see is that by posting that information, and if they like it or they see other people that have a similar concept, though, you're actually going to boost up your brand recognition. People are going to be more confident in working with you because you're talking with all these people and communicating and networking with people that are considered influencers. So, of course, we do have a video that breaks down the social media concept. We also have that e-marketing white paper that dives into more specifically how to use those social marketing avenues to do exactly what I just covered and make it really important for you to generate new leads and new prospects.
Yep, a quick example is like Joe just said, find your niche. Okay, and like let's say the smoker niche, okay, to go after, let's say marijuana, cigars, cigarette smokers. Okay, focus on that part of the marketplace. Write an article. Okay, everybody has a smartphone these days. Record yourself for a minute or two talking about the different programs that are available. Okay, and maybe read up on this subject and talk about it in your videos and post these videos like Joe was talking about. Make that your niche. Okay, you can do the same thing with foreign nationals. Okay, same idea. Write a blog or article, turn your phone around, make a quick video, okay, and then you promote on all of your social media pages, okay, and pick different topics that you're going to drill down into, and we can help you with that. So great stuff there, okay. If you're whatever the case is, you could be active in your community with the local mayor, or if it's tobacco, visit the different cigar shop. There's so many different ways to do it, and again, we'll help you dive further into this. Okay, create a course and be the teacher. Okay, we have developed a few courses with a third-party company that will allow you to add a designation onto your title and business card, so you can start to host different financial courses that talks about, retirement funds. Maybe you can take the course that allows you to talk about college planning, FAFSA forms, different, let's say, college loans, or different government programs that allow scholarships, scholarship funding through SAGE, which is our program. There's many different ways, but this will help you gain an audience, okay? So next thing you know, you're talking about, retirement funds, okay, and you have 50 people listening to you. Then, of course, at the end of your session, that's when you can start to promote yourself, pass out cards, and maybe talk about one of your presentations. And again, we'll help you with this as well. But these are great ideas to help you get your foot in the door to share your story. And I know it's a lot of information, and we do record these webinars, so you can definitely play this back, or again, pick up the phone, call any one of our marketers, and we would be more than happy to help you. So without further ado, I know we ran a little bit over, but we have our guest speaker, Chris Solomon, who also has some awesome ideas that Protective and he has put together for all of our field force. Chris, you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Bill and Joe, thanks for having me on the phone today, and the 40 some odd individuals that have signed on to the call to learn more about Levinson and Associates and some of the cutting-edge tools that they bring to the table. I think from the 70 some odd offices that I work with on a distribution level, this organization truly is a cutting-edge organization in being able to bring technologically based tools to their constituencies, so to speak. And they're also very, very high level and professional in their ability to handle cases. So I'm pretty darn lucky to be able to work to support these guys. In relation to some of the tools that are available, I understand some of you are probably already affiliated with Levinson and Associates. Some of you may be brand new to this organization or looking for a very professional and viable alternative to getting business to insurance carriers. I wanted to show you a little bit about my website, and I've got also sales ideas intertwined in my discussion here over the next 10 or 15 minutes. One of the sales tools I wanted to bring to light for everybody on the phone today, and I've gone to a website here called My Protective, which is a Protective Life-based website. Many of us who have been in the business for a number of years probably can recall the day when we used to use a paper financial needs analysis tool to work with clients to figure out what their current needs might be. One of the things that we have on my website, and you can see a whole host of different tools that we have available as far as a carrier goes. Everything from marketing materials, which would be Protective Life focused, competitive intelligence, which can stack my carrier up against a multitude of others. Things that you might be able to use directly in conjunction with making sales to clients. We offer backroom technician. We offer impact technologies, plan lab for solutions. Those are premium offerings, meaning that it does take a fee to get logged into them. However, we do offer discounts. To get into my website, you'd need to work with Levinson and Associates to get a username and a password, in addition to the tools that they offer. One of the quick pieces I wanted to show you just from a financial needs analysis tool is if I log into my site and I go to Life Insurance Needs Analysis tool, you can see that we're loading up here, and I'll wait for that to connect. And as we wait for that to connect, other areas that you can see, or that you could have seen, that we had to offer was illustration tools. My illustration software is there, as is WinFlex if you're into or have a need to run a multitude of different carriers at the same time. But let me skip back just to keep the phone call moving. Life Insurance Needs Analysis tool, if I click on Start for this one, it's very, very much like what we used to use as far as a paper model goes. So if I was sitting with a client, let's say that the insurance agent may have been interviewing me in the question and answer session as we try to derive what the needs and the goals and the current facts are for the client. From a final expense perspective, Chris, what do you think your family might need in relation to final expenses at the time of your death? I'm going to put $15,000 in here. Living up in New Jersey, things are a little bit more expensive. If I was to put $200,000 in for my mortgage, other debts, let's just say $12,000. An emergency fund for my family in the event that I'm not around, I'm going to put $25,000. An education fund for my 9-year-old son, I'm going to put currently $100,000. Survivor's income need, what would my family need moving forward if I was not here tomorrow? I'm going to say that my current income, I'm just going to fudge it a little bit and say 150. Hoping that you're working with a little higher end clients. The years that I would want to have my family need, that would be for 10. The rate of return I can expect on dependents, I like to keep things a little bit more not competitive, a little bit more conservative. Having been in the business myself for 21 years, I've worked with a multitude of different distributors, agents, financial planners, and one of the common themes of past has been to overpromise and potentially underperform. I'm just going to put 4.5% in here as a rate of return. I know that's very conservative. I'm going to put a 2% inflation rate. For this individual that I'm interviewing, I'm going to say, what do they have as far as savings goes? I'm going to be a little bit higher. I'm going to say 75,000 retirement savings. I'm going to put 200,000. And other assets, currently none. That's what the family is operating on. And for life insurance purposes, I'm going to say this person has $750,000, either in personally owned life insurance or insurance that would be group term through their company. So you've gone through the conversation with the client, and you've entered in all the different details. I can click Calculate, and I need to actually minimize. If I click Calculate, the computer does the work for me. The immediate needs, $352,000. The present value of future income needs, $1.345. Total funds needed at death, $1.6. Available funds, $1.025. Additional need for life insurance, $672,000. My system not only takes into account every different piece of information that you've added into the computer system, but it also uses discount rates, net present values to come up with a legitimate number that your client could potentially be looking at as far as what the need would be upon death. And then, if I wanted to, I can print this directly off. Instead of printing it, you can look on my screen to see what the report would be, but you can provide that directly. Whoops. Sorry about that. You can provide that directly to the client so that they have something to reference, and you can walk through this with the client as need be. We have a lot of different things going on at Protective Life. Some of you may be familiar with Protective, some may not. Don't take the control back from my screen yet, Joe and Bill. Several of different things are going on. As far as Protective Life goes, we are based out of Birmingham, Alabama. We are rated A or better with all of the different ratings companies, be it Fitch, Moody's, AM Best, Standard & Poor's, and I'm sure there's probably one I'm forgetting, but we are rated A or better with all of those different ratings agencies, and my Comdex, I believe, is currently 85 or 86. We're financially stable. We've grown over the past 40 years by acquiring parts of or full carriers, some 30 different blocks of business or carriers to grow financially so that we can continue to have rates of return on our books of business to offer a competitive product set in relation to offering a competitive product set. As far as a carrier, we offer many of the things you may be looking for in a carrier as far as a product portfolio goes. We offer extremely competitive guaranteed universal life that can be guaranteed to age 120 with a sweet spot to 105. We offer an extraordinarily competitive guaranteed index universal life which I'll touch on here in about a minute. And my term rates, we just repriced them on Monday. And that Monday repricing will put us into generally the #1 place as far as price rank goes. For many, many sales, about 80% of them, when the insured is underwritten at standard or better. So brand new term rates as we're coming into the fourth quarter, many of us that are in a sales role, be it an agent or a support individual trying to make sure business gets back out the door for you and your clients, we thought it was a great time to reprice things in order for you to be able to offer the most competitive products in the street. And right now that is my repriced term. As far as other products that we're seeing that we offer that are competitive, one of them I also mentioned was my Index Universal Life, and I'm not sure of the group that is currently on the phone who would sell Index Universal Life or who wouldn't. The product that we offer is essentially pretty simple to explain. It does offer only an S&P 500 index. It offers only a 1-year point-to-point, so as far as trying to explain what different indices are available, we have one. We've tried to keep it simple, and we've tried to keep it a very low-cost product. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the life insurance landscape as far as products that are available with a guaranteed death benefit, you've probably noticed several carriers over the past several years have introduced a product on their own paper that would offer a death benefit guarantee that would last generally for the client's life expectancy, somewhere in the age 80s range. And that product would also afford the client considerable cash value so that when the guaranteed death benefit or the guarantee on the death benefit expired, there would be enough cash to be able to carry that life insurance policy from an expense charge perspective so the policyholder could continue to have their coverage. However, that coverage beyond the life expectancy guarantee, as you know, would not be guaranteed. When my company came out with our Index Universal Life, we came out with it in January of 2014. When I look at my product versus another fairly popular carrier out there, John Hancock came out with Protection UL, and I believe they came out with it in September of 2010. It was the first product of the type, so to speak, where popularity generally increased over the next several years, where they offered a life expectancy guarantee, and they also offered considerable cash. When I talk about my index product being low cost and extremely beneficial to the client, what I'm referring to is, first and foremost, if you look at the example that I've put up on the screen here, it's a comparison between me and the Protection UL product. John Hancock is here at the top. Protected Life is here. The way I've run this is I've worked to figure out, or have my illustration system work out, what premium would be necessary to be put into my product for this age 55 male, 1 million in face, preferred non-tobacco, to get a guaranteed death benefit to 105 on my index product. I then took that same, put it into John Hancock's product. And you can see that when I did that, the difference between the death benefit guarantees over here on the far right, my guarantee, obviously, as I mentioned, goes to 105. Their guarantee only goes to 86. I think the real kicker here is, if you have been looking at limited guarantee products or even other index products, it's important to note that on my illustration, I ran me at 0% every single year. So if you have reluctance about selling an index product, in this example, I've taken the index out of the equation because I've credited 0% every single year. So John Hancock, I used their default of 5%. The kicker, as I mentioned, was putting the same premium into these two policies. Using the same exact person, same premium, same person, Hancock, I'm giving a better interest rate. You can see that the 20-year cash value for me, with no interest ever credited into my policy, is higher than my competing carrier, who is crediting 5% every single year on an illustration. Being a bit of an analytic, I have also looked at different cells where this may or may not work. I have not been successful in finding where my product provides less cash value versus this carrier. I have several other examples that I'm not going to show today, but I can get them out to both Joe and Bill and other associates at Levinson that can prove that with my lower charge structure in my product for this one in particular, it offers a superior guarantee and superior cash value versus what the competition is offering. So if you sell IUL, you should be looking at Protective. As far as sales ideas go, moving along, I wanted to show you another quick one. And this is illustrations based. What I've done is I've brought up my illustration software, but this can also be done on WinFlex. What I'm doing is I'm going to illustrate a 45-year-old male preferred in the state of Florida for $1 million, and I'm going to use my 10-year level term. If you remember back to the 2009-2010 time frames, you probably remember several carriers offered what was called a term UL, where the term product was actually on a UL chassis, and because of that, it allowed the carrier to be able to dial different premium streams into that term-esque product to provide different value and benefit to the client. I want to show you an idea we've been calling 5x5. What the 5x5 essentially is if I show you first and foremost this 45-year-old preferred male in the state of Florida for $1 million in coverage doing a 10-year policy. Let's see if I can move this again. I can run that illustration, and I can show you that for this individual for $1 million on a 10-year chassis, the premium is $732, and this reflects my new term pricing. One of the interesting things about my term-esque or term UL product is many of you that sell term understand that at the end of the level period for term insurance, the death benefit for other carriers, the death benefit will remain the same, and the premium will skyrocket sometimes as much as 1,500 to 2,000%. With my product, what happens is the premium remains the same, but the death benefit begins to trail off, and then answers the direct question. When the client calls in and says, my level period just expired, what will my premium currently buy me if I don't switch policies? So we tried to help the consumer out in that nature. Back to my 5x5 idea. This is a 10-year level term UL. If you run into clients that have the idea that they want to convert the policy within the first 5 years, or if you have a business planning case where they may need additional death benefit as collateral against loans, I can run this 5x5 idea, and what it is if I change, and I can show Levinson how to do this, they're actually already familiar with it, but if I end up changing how I run my premium, I can choose to run an initial level premium period for 5 years and then refigure after 5 years what that would mean. If I do that, remember we were looking at 732. If I have a client that's looking to convert a policy in the first 5 years in this case, instead of 732, we can sell them a product for 606, which is going to be the lowest in the market for a 10-year plan. Now you'll also notice that in years 6 through 10, the premium has jumped. We underpaid in the early years. We need to make up for those payments in the later years. But if you have a shorter time horizon for your clients for term, we have a solution for you. I can do this, what we call 5x5 idea, for the 5-year segment. However, I can also do, if I wanted to, a 12-year deal. So if I went to, say, a 15-year term period and got rid of the 10 years, I can show you what the 15-year looks like, which is $993. But then again, if I wanted to save my clients some money, I can close out of that. I can customize the level benefit period. And let's do it for 12 years. $854. So I'm saving the client money, and how long does the $854 go? Well, the $854 goes for 12 years instead of the 15 years. So this goes directly competing with other carriers that may offer a specific dial level period situation with their term, but it also figures into situations where you may want to be able to save clients some money knowing full well that they're going to convert in a few years. It gives them additional flexibility. The last piece that I wanted to share with you today before we all hop off the phone is something that we're calling Sell What Matters. And going back to what Joe and Bill were talking about as far as technology-based solutions, we've recently introduced, as part of our website, if you were to go to www.sellwhatmatters.com, and you can see it here at the top of my screen in the address bar, it'll bring you straight to a Protective Life microsite, which will allow you to, it reads here, create your own sales ideas. You can click on it. And wait for it to load. You can type in my name, Chris, S-A-L-A-M-O-N. I'm going to run this as an agent. You click Next. I have 6 different sales ideas to choose from. One of the sales ideas in here, if you wanted to look at it, was the one that we just discussed in relation to my index universal life with a guaranteed death benefit versus John Hancock. I can run that piece here. So then click Create Idea. Well, look at John Hancock. Just to repeat the topic, so to speak, and click Next. One of the things it brings up, though, I can download my PDF, and we'll do that in a second. It also brings up a 1-minute video to click on. I can turn the sound up on my computer, I imagine.
Show clients how an indexed UL policy can grow cash value over time. But you risk frustrating clients down the line if the policy doesn't perform as you
I think you get the idea. But there's educational pieces on this Create Your Own Sales Idea. If I download the PDF, I can open it. And you can see on my screen, and I can make this bigger so you can read it. It's a customized piece. We've put your name on it. In this case, it's my name. And it's a one-pager. It goes through, in this case, what my index universal life with a guaranteed death benefit can do versus what some of the competition can do. And it gives a very similar comparison to what I had earlier. Here we're doing the same premium. We're actually doing the same interest rate. You can see what the cash value differences are. You can see what the cumulative expenses are for your own edification, so you know which one's cheaper. I am, and a better guarantee. We have several of these to offer. As far as ideas go, I think we've run over a little bit on time. We have more. Levinson and Associates not only has access to Protective Life ideas, and I've only shown you a tip of the iceberg with Protective Life, but they also have many, many ideas available for a multitude of different carriers that they offer for your benefit and for your client's benefit. At this time, I want to turn it back over to Joe and Bill. I really do appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Great job. So once again, we're going to send out an email, and we'll include